Okay, so I decided I would film a little night vlog. Now that school has come back in session, I feel as though I should live as if spring break were still on. I was just brought to think back about, just how quick life passes. I'm 23 now. 7 years ago, I was 16. 7 years before that, I was 9. 7 years before that, I was 2. I'm sorry. It's so difficult for me to stay present on camera. I'm actually just gonna drink a little cup of lime juice. Okay, so now what? Are we gonna talk on this thing, or are we just going to dilly-dally? We have work to do. I just don't know what to talk about in front of this thing. Earlier I was talking about things that interested me, about how life is short and how 7 years ago I was 16 and had these things going on. 7 years before that I was 9 and had these things going on. 7 years before that I was 2 and little had happened yet, and that interested me at the time. Touched my face. I think right now I'm, while quarantining, while in this reflective state in the middle of the night, it just dawns on me, that, well, yes, I suppose there is dissatisfaction in my life. I think that's not uncommon. But yeah, it does bring me solace, I guess, to sort of look over my past and think about like the good times I've had. The people that might not be with me right now, in my life. So there was this one girl, like for instance, in high school, she ran the Christian club at my school and was, tall, fair-skinned, half black. She was just very charismatic and very gentle, but very strong too and very honest. She wasn't meek. She wasn't like this little, docile girl. No, she had a mind and a way to use it. Otherwise she probably wouldn't be running that club, would she? I just remembered that, like, it was, I really enjoyed knowing her, and, why am I doing this? Long story short, I had a crush on her, long story short, I had come out as a gay male that February, and, then 2 months later I was suspended because I assailed this kid who was basically harassing me physically. She caught wind of my attraction to her, even though I wouldn't admit it at first. I wouldn't admit it for like 2 months. I was like desperately attracted to her. If you've been a teenager, you understand how strong attraction is at that time. And if you've been a male teenager, you understand how things work, back then too. It was wild. It was really surreal. I don't know. I think the main reason why that came to my mind, at least when I was talking about it earlier, is that I don't know. I needed a girlfriend just as much then as I need now. I don't know. I guess it's because I have just had so many different fallouts with people. And it's really painful to carry that weight. That girl is one of hundreds of people that I've, had to move on from. And dozens that I was very close with. I had this one girl in middle school who had blonde hair and had this reputation from people that, she was supposedly some kind of bitch or something. Oh no, I'll get demonetized. So sorry. We'll edit it in post. And long story short, I knocked over our science project, and because I hadn't brought in glue or something, and I was that insecure. I was that kid, and it left her with a bruised eye. It injured her. That must have been really traumatizing for her. And I waited like the whole school year to apologize. I forget whether it was in the winter or the fall. I think it was the winter. I waited until June to apologize to her. 4 months is what size a fraction of a 14-year-old's life. It's much bigger than a 23-year-old's life. And it's big nonetheless. Growth happens in that amount of time. And there's ample time for her to move on from me. We were really close back then before that happened. And I was just really insecure. I was battling becoming a man, so to speak. Which, like, how the hell was that happening to me, right? And it was just a very difficult time for me to be present with people, to be emotionally consistent with them. It's a good euphemism for stable, right? Long story short, I knocked over our science project, because I hadn't brought in glue or something, and I was that insecure. I was that kid, and it left her with a bruised eye. It injured her. That must have been really traumatizing for her. And I waited like the whole school year to apologize. I forget whether it was in the winter or the fall. I think it was the winter. I waited until June to apologize to her. 4 months is what size a fraction of a 14-year-old's life. It's much bigger than a 23-year-old's life. And it's big nonetheless. Growth happens in that amount of time. And there's ample time for her to move on from me. We were really close back then before that happened. And I was just really insecure. I was battling becoming a man, so to speak. Which, like, how the hell was that happening to me, right? And it was just a very difficult time for me to be present with people, to be emotionally consistent with them. It's a good euphemism for stable, right? I wasn't all there, and that's no excuse. There was this person, non-binary person, that I knew, this is later on, when I was like 21, 22, who they were really cool, and understood progressive politics to a T. And they were making real changes. They were a really talented artist, really talented musician, really articulate, really smart, really kind, really charismatic. And they at one point, I mean, I had several instances where I just was rude to them, or insincere, or backhanded with them, and it totally eroded any semblance of friendship that we had. Very sadly, because we actually got along a lot and we're really kind of kindred spirits a lot. At least the good side of me and them. And it's gone now, you know. There was another person who she is 16 and a half years my senior, and I called her out at a gig that she offered me to be a part of, claiming that she was responsible for me not having people show at my show. In part because, in large part because of the time. I was given a terrible time slot. It was 11:15 on a Thursday night. But I volunteered to take that slot. When she asked me if it was okay, I went with it. You know, I elected to take it. That's the word I was looking for. And this is probably really dizzying, isn't it? I'm sorry. Do you like the kitchen? I've lived here for 23 years. Actually, that's not true. I've lived here since 2001. I mean, how crass could I have, why would I be so crass and say, you did this, you know, it was just rude. Because in part, it's because I was so sad that people had just not stayed for me. And it was in large part not because of me, but because how late it was, and because the gig before that was very loud, and they probably were just fatigued. It was really no one's fault. Someone had to take that slot, and I wasn't well known. And frankly, I wasn't ready for a show like that. I wasn't. I had good songs, but they were so half-baked as far as rehearsal goes. And as far as my technique with any of my instruments went, well, I guess that's not entirely true. I mean, I had some nice electronic songs that would have worked, that did work. But yeah, I couldn't even keep myself together for that. Anyway, that friend was, you know, she was such a rock during my time newly out of school, and my time new to the music scene, at least in the full force way I was going about in 2018. She was so kind and earnest and appreciative of me. And I just spit in her face like that, you know. It's no wonder we don't talk anymore. And that was it, you know. And in part probably because I did, in fact, wait again, 4 months to apologize to her, or 3.5 months to apologize to her. People grow in that time. People will move on from you, you know, if you don't show. And the last imprint they have of you is that, you know, you're not good business. They're gonna move on, find other customers. So I guess this video is about my tendency to flip and my tendency to be insecure or devaluative of people and their love for me. And it's coming at a time where I am looking in very hard, harder than I have before. And I'm grateful for it. It's hard. It's really often not so pretty. I was literally in bed just feeling so numb and having all this tension in my jaw. It was really sad, just in bed like that. You know, there's a lot of room to grow and be better. The thing is, I'm often thinking about how I'm still young, but I'm also at the cusp of like where youth is no longer maturation as much as it is aging. You know, that's going to start happening very soon. Like by 26, it's going to be that. It's going to be that. Well, I guess some lifespan development psychologists would argue against that. But hey, you get the allegory here.